Hi, my name's Kurt and welcome to 7 Best Things, a positive look at pop culture. Today we're counting down the 7 best moments in Superman 3, starring Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor. Let's go. Number 7, the quick change. One highlight of any Superman movie is the quick change scene when Superman changes from mild-mannered reporter Clark Kent into the Man of Steel. Now there are 3 quick changes that stand out in Superman 3. The first is at the very beginning of the movie, when there's a car being flooded with water. Clark Kent ducks into a photo booth in order to change into Superman. The photo booth captures 4 pictures of Clark changing into Superman in mid-transformation. As Superman emerges from the photo booth, he sees a little boy waiting for his pictures, and he tears off the bottom one, gives it to the little boy, and then keeps the other 3 for himself, the ones which would reveal his secret identity. The second quick change scene takes place at the fire, where Clark ducks into the back of a police car and emerges as Superman. The third quick change, I think, is the best. It takes place in Smallville at the picnic, where Superman runs behind the wooden fence. And as he's running alongside the wooden fence, we see his costume change through the slats in the fence before he takes to the skies of Smallville. Number 6, the reunion. Clark returns to Smallville to his high school class reunion, and at that reunion he catches up again with Lana Lang, played by Annette O'Toole. Lana, of course, is from the first Superman movie. We saw her during Clark's high school days in the Smallville scenes. Reeve and O'Toole make a great couple. They have their own humorous banter that they engage in, where each character answers a question that the other character had said about 30 seconds earlier, causing some disjointed type of humor. They make a fun couple to watch on screen. Number 5, the picnic. Clark, Lana, and Ricky go on a picnic near Smallville. While Lana is busy looking under her hood, Clark realizes Ricky is in trouble. He's fallen, he's unconscious, and there are a group of combines in the wheat fields he's playing in about to bear down on him. Clark makes the quick change that we talked about just a few minutes ago, and then he flies to save Ricky just in the nick of time. He flies him back to his mother, and then Superman makes another quick change, this time back into Clark Kent. He emerges from the culvert holding Buster, Ricky's dog. It's a fun scene. It has everything you want in a Superman movie. It has action, it has some humor, it has some beautiful scenery, and of course it has Superman arriving just in the nick of time. Number 4, Superman versus supercomputer. The final battle of Superman 3 is Superman versus the world's most powerful supercomputer. Superman has to navigate Glen Canyon with Ross Webster and his sister Vera playing a real-life Atari video game, shooting rockets and missiles at the Man of Steel. Ross Webster, by the way, is played by the man from U.N.C.L.E. himself, Robert Vaughn. Superman arrives at the cave, but he is unable to penetrate the computer's defenses. With the help of Gus, he escapes and flies away. Superman returns to the cave with a plan, and this time with a vial of beltric acid. The computer does not recognize beltric acid as a threat because it's only a threat when it is heated up, when it becomes unstable and super corrosive. What I like best about this scene is that Superman doesn't overcome the computer by the use of his superpowers. Rather, he outwits the computer, beating the computer at its own game. Number 3, Superman and Gus. After the defeat of the supercomputer, Superman flies Gus to a coal mine where he can get a new job and a new lease on life. Now this is the scene that they put on the movie poster for Superman 3, and for good reason, because it's the scene we've all been waiting to see, where we have Superman and Gus, Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor, 2 of the most charismatic actors of their time, trading jokes back and forth with one another. It makes for a fun scene and a great epilogue to the film. Number 2, the fire. My second favorite scene in the movie happens early. Jimmy and Clark come upon a huge chemical plant that is on fire. I like this scene because it's really well done. The tension and the drama builds as the scene goes along. The firefighters are there battling the fire, but they cannot control it and they cannot put it out. Then Superman discovers the bad news. Inside the chemical plant is a substance called beltric acid, which when it is heated becomes super corrosive. Nothing can stop it. And now this fire doesn't just threaten the plant and the lives of the firefighters, but the entire eastern seaboard. More than that, Jimmy falls into the fire, breaking his leg. Even worse than that, though, the firefighters run out of water pressure. There's a nice ramping up of the tension in the scene as things go from bad to worse to a potential national disaster. There are a lot of great special effects in the scene. There are a lot of great explosions. There's a great hero shot of Superman walking directly through the fire in order to save Jimmy. And the solution that Superman comes up with to put out the fire, I think, is really clever. He flies to a nearby lake, freezes it with his super breath, picks it up, flies it to the chemical fire where he drops it on top of the fire, putting the fire out. It's Superman at his best, using his powers in a creative way in order to save the day. Number 1, Superman versus Clark Kent. In my opinion, the very best scene in this movie is the fight you never thought you would see. Superman versus Clark Kent. Originally, this movie was going to be called Superman vs. Superman, but the makers of the movie Kramer vs. Kramer threatened to sue, so they changed the title to Superman 3. Superman is affected by some man-made kryptonite, which doesn't hurt him or kill him, but it does have an unusual effect on the Man of Steel. Superman doesn't become evil, he doesn't turn into Lex Luthor, but he definitely becomes less good. Superman becomes more like a normal human being. He becomes self-centered, self-absorbed, and just plain selfish. Superman realizes he needs to change. But of course, for Superman, the change is not going to be a 12-step program. Instead, it is going to be a super-powered battle in a junkyard. And the enemy that he's going to battle in the junkyard is the most surprising enemy of all. It's Clark Kent. And ultimately, it's Clark Kent that proves to be stronger. It is Clark Kent that wins the day. In the punch the air moment that we have been waiting for, the John Williams Superman March begins to play. Clark Kent rips open his shirt and reveals the big red S. Superman, the real Superman, is reborn. This scene is a great scene for a number of reasons, but there's one reason that stands out more than any other. That one reason is Christopher Reeve. You may have noticed that all 7 of my top moments have involved Christopher Reeve, and that's not by accident. I really enjoyed watching the first 3 Superman movies again and appreciate them for what they are and what they've contributed to our culture. But what I really appreciate about them is the artistry and greatness of Christopher Reeve. He does a great job of playing both Clark Kent and Superman. He literally brings Superman to life. Well, that's all I've got. Let me know what you think. If you have a favorite moment from Superman 3, please put it down in the comments section below. If you like this video, you can like, share, and subscribe. And if you like this video, there are other videos that you may like on this same channel. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.